Hello and welcome to another video tour at resourcesforlife.com. This is Gregory Johnson, Director of Resources for Life. And we're going to be looking at a new resource under our Music Resources page. You'll find that under Effective Living. And we have the links organized alphabetically here. If you scroll down, you'll get to Music Resources. And the reason music is under Effective Living, that's explained here under the summary, is because music empowers people to live more joyfully and effectively. It soothes, entertains, brings healing, inspires, and energizes. And there's a lot of there are a lot of other benefits to music that I'm sure you've experienced as well. But listening to music is just one aspect of what music has to offer us. Music expression, creative expression through playing a musical instrument, is very rewarding and relaxing. But how do you get started with that? You know, guitar, for example, is relatively complicated to play. You need to have some dexterity and techniques that need to be honed. What we've done here is we've added a page on Lakota and Native American flutes because the Lakota flute, for example, it's relatively easy to play, and yet it offers the use of more advanced techniques to create a wide range of sounds, including pitch bending and some other things. So for the beginning person who wants to just start with music and have some musical expression, it's a great way to get started. But also, it's an instrument you can advance your techniques with. We've listed some vendors here. You'll see Ancient Territories Flutes by John Stillwell. I'm going to go back to that in just a minute. Bruce Becker Flutes, Heart Songs Flutes, Waking Spirit, Wind Dancer. There's a list at littleleaf.com of Native American flute makers and also some Native American flute music players. And so if we scroll down this page, you'll see a long list of flute makers and manufacturers as well as musicians. The list is a little bit overwhelming. It's comprehensive, which is nice, but it, as I say, is a little bit overwhelming. And some of these links, for example, here's one, Blue Bear Flutes. This is obviously no longer an active website. So what's happening is at the littleleaf.com, they're just having trouble keeping up with such a long list, and that's understandable. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and close out of that and go back to our Lakota and Native American Flutes page. If you have the time and interest, you can certainly explore littleleaf.com's listing. What we want to do here on our site is offer, maybe 5 to 10 resources for you to check out, and the selection process, the way we're going to determine which web pages make it onto our list, is we're using Ancient Territories Flutes by John Stillwell. We're using this website as sort of a standard to go by. And so that's what the rest of this tour is going to be about, is pointing out some things relating to the site design and the information that is available on the web page. The address is atflutes.com. You can see it there. And what I'd like to see then on any page that we would be linking to would be the following resources. Okay, first of all, just a little information about buying the flute. And even before I go on, I just want to point out the navigation here on this site. What we have at the top are some simple links. This is what I call anchored navigation. It means it stays in the same place regardless of what page you're switching to. Okay, so it makes the site very easy to navigate. The name of the website is at the top, and then we get immediately, after about an inch of banner up here, we get immediately to the content of the page. So it's really a nicely designed site. But that aside, you'll see as we go, the content is very nice as well. So there's a page with information on buying a flute, some things you'll want to know about purchasing the right flute for you. And from this page you can go to the flute store. There's another link down here, enter the flute store. Okay, so let's go back to the main page. Here's a picture of John Stillwell on the main page. Enter the flute store. There's also a sound samples page. I think that's really important for anyone wanting to buy a flute. You're going to want to go in here and get a sense of, what that flute sounds like, depending on what key you buy the flute in. You'll notice that the key of F is a little bit lower in tone and sound than the key of A. So you can go through all of these and get a sense of what key do you want your flute to be in? That's going to be probably the first thing you want to figure out, and then go from there. Some of the websites don't have that, and it's really a nice feature to have that available. There's a questions and answers page. So a lot of the questions that you may have about Native American flutes and how to play them, and you can see this page just goes on and on. There are a lot of really helpful questions and answers right there. There's a testimonials page, so you can learn and hear from some people who've worked with John Stillwell and played his flutes, find out what they thought about his craftsmanship and helpfulness. I found him to be very personable. I actually purchased one of his flutes and had about 10 emails back and forth. I kept thinking of more questions for him, and he was really pleasant to work with and very responsive. Here's a page, how to play the flute. So beyond just some of the basics, this page goes into how you can use finger positioning to get a lot of different notes out of that flute. And even there's a chart here showing some music theory information. So you can explore that page, how to play. How the flutes are made. It's really nice to see some photos and have a textual description of what is the process that John goes through to create these flutes. And so the pictures here show the tools that are used. It goes from every single step along the way, as you can see. It just goes on and on. I won't take your time now. You can explore that at your leisure, but it's very fascinating to learn how these flutes are made. And then there's a biography page, so you can learn a little bit more about John. He's been doing this for decades and has a lot to offer. There's a picture here, for example, a visiting class from the University of Redlands. So John is reaching out to the community, sharing his woodworking experiences with interested young people, and there's some photos here of musicians who have used John's flutes, and you can just continue to explore this page as well on your leisure, at your leisure. Music therapy, I like this page. It describes the benefits of both listening to music and also playing music as a kind of relaxation technique and therapy to bring healing and harmony to your life. And finally, the last link here is the contact page. So I really do think that any website where these flutes are being sold, where Lakota flutes are being sold, it would be nice to have resources and links and pages similar to what we're finding here at Ancient Territories. There are quite a few more links here. Some are duplicate, like the testimonials page, but there are others that that are not at the top there. Here's flute facts and dimensions. Okay, so basically, once you've become educated a little more about what key you might like your flute to be in, and how to play and how the flute was made and that type of thing, you can go ahead and enter the flute store. And then John has these broken down into categories. There's the backpacker, which is kind of a basic flute. That's the design that I purchased. And you can see those are about $135. They may be a little more money if, for example, $25 more if it's in the key of F or E, because there's a little bit more material and craftsmanship that goes into that. And so those are the backpacker flutes, but there's some others here as well. There's the collector's flute. Those are going to be right around $300. There's a lot more time and energy that goes into making these collector's flutes. And you'll see some specials. These fall into the sort of $185 price range. Very nice woods, very nice craftsmanship here. And I'll let you explore the rest of those. But what you'll find is flutes ranging from kind of $135 up to maybe $400 or more here on the site. So wherever you're at, if you're just getting started or you want to go beyond your current flute, you can find something here. And I think that's it. I don't want to take any more of your time, but I hope you've enjoyed this tour, and I hope you can take away from what I've shown you here some of the key aspects of what you'd be looking for in other sites if you were going to go ahead and explore some other sites to purchase a flute from. That's a way of sort of evaluating the quality of the site. Is, does it offer those resources that are found on the Ancient Territories Flutes website by John Stillwell. Thanks for your time, and I hope that your music journey and exploration goes well. I hope you stop back and visit us again soon. Thanks.